Oh, it's gonna be a shit show. Here we go.
Let's go. This ain't the fuck like or this game he stinks.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
My friends, welcome back. we're gonna start off calm today because in just a little bit,
just calm.
All hell is gonna break loose. All absolute hell is gonna break loose. But welcome everybody to another episode of In This Very Ring. My name is Ritz. I am the commissioner here, and I'm the commissioner for a lot of things that happen around here at A2D Radio. And the frozen guy next to me, whenever his internet starts working, this is why it's going to be a shit show. Because this man is having technical difficulties like nobody's business. It's going to be fantastic. Whenever Butters gets his... There he goes. Whenever Butters gets his shit together, that's Butters. Okay? He's the mayor of Toasty Town. You know him. You love him. What the hell was that?
Lights.
What? Stop. No, sir.
I couldn't get it to do it at the same time.
No comment there either. And as every week, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can catch us on replay on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Speaker. We are brought to you by Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, 2 locations, Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. He's our doc, make him yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal at SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. We actually have a quote from the doc related to our poll question a little bit later on in the show. But, Butters, I have to know, how are you, my friend?
I am doing very well, my friend. I am
Wonderful.
On vacation.
Hey! It's vacation time.
Fuck you.
Hey, he's on vacation. Hey, he's on vacation.
Better damn well believe it.
Man. Let's get right into it. Fuck it. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Our poll question is brought to you by BetUS. They are the leading online sports book, and they've been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet on anything, anywhere in the U.S. Use that link right there for a 125% sign-up bonus. Use the link. Sign up today. Bet on... I swear to God, you can bet on anything. We were messing around with it the other day. They have TV, politics, gaming, sports, everything imaginable.
Did they get how angry will Ritz get in the next podcast?
No, but they should. It's a good idea. Big E will not come back in 2022. Agree, disagree. Let me set the stage for you. It's Friday night, Birmingham, Alabama, and it's the opening match where it's the New Days, Kofi Kingston and Big E versus Ridge Holland and Sheamus. And Big E is on the outside with Ridge Holland. They go for a suplex. It's a botch to no end, and Big E lands on his neck. An immediate problem. WWE cuts away. They go back to the ring. He's stretchered out, right? It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, will he return in 2022? Yes or no? Before we get to Butters, actually, no. Fuck it. Butters, what do you got?
Man, this is a toughie. It depends on the severity of his neck, the injury. I feel like if it's not as bad as, they're hoping it is from what I've been reading earlier, he could be back before the end of the 2022. I honestly wholeheartedly feel that This is more like a 6 months, to a year type of thing. And I feel like I'd say Survivor Series at the earliest, Rumble at the latest. But I think Big E, as good as he is, I think he'll make it back by the end of 2022.
So, let's go to the comments.
Mm-hmm.
We got Poe from Hockey Happy Hour chiming in. Oh my God, he did. Damn, I always like Big E. Get well soon. Edie Zahari says, hey guys, have a nice day. You too, buddy. The Godfather himself loves that sweatshirt, Butters. That HUD sweatshirt that you can get right there at PhillyDrinkers.com. He says, what's up? Make sure you guys check out Tom every, God bless, Sunday for Agree to Disagree, Monday for Monday Morning Quarterback, and Wednesday for A2D Wednesday night. This man right here, this is Chuck's Moranin. You can catch him on Birds of a Feather with Pete and Chrome. He says, yo, speaking of Pete, there he is. And he agrees to the poll. He doesn't think Big E is coming back. And Brian Wilson, what's up, boys? Wrestling Talk. Make sure you catch Brian every Sunday on Agree to Disagree. All right. I don't think he's coming back in 2022. I'm going to agree to the poll. Okay? So, here it is. Here's a piece from the CBS Sports Report earlier today. So, I actually had a conversation with Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy. And so I sent him this excerpt from the report. And it says, Big E updated his status on Saturday, noting that he suffered non-displacement fractures of his C1 and C6 vertebrae, but avoided any damage to his spinal cord. He also noted that he did not suffer any ligament damage and will not have to undergo surgery to repair any of the damage. Now, this update comes from Big E himself. If anybody was paying attention, Big E this morning went to Twitter and he gave everybody an update. He had the collar on, everything like that. And this is what he said in that video. So I reached out to the doc and I said, hey, doc, how long do you think he could be out? How bad of an injury is this, right? I'm very unfamiliar. And so Dr. Paul Vidal said, and I quote, sounds like Big E got lucky. Healing time for a fractured vertebra can vary and can depend on the extent of the fracture. Obviously, a non-displaced fracture is better than a displaced fracture. And having no spinal cord involvement or ligament damage is a really good thing. Typically, bones heal anywhere between 6 to 12 weeks, again, depending on the extent of the injury. If it was non-displaced, I'm assuming he'll be placed in a cervical collar to provide support, and that he will have repeat x-rays to make sure the vertebrae are not displacing and healing properly. I would also safely assume that he would undergo repeat neurological testing as healing progresses, just to make sure there's not any spinal cord involvement. Given that he's a professional wrestler, his muscle strength and girth are a positive thing. However, given the nature of professional wrestling, I don't think they'll rush him back because of the forces that one can be exposed to. The greatest concern, minus death, is paralysis. If a fracture were to worsen, he would get re-injured then when he's not fully healed. So I said, this is great. Yeah, it looks like they already have him in the collar. He posted a video this morning. And so I went a little bit further with the doc. I said, could this be career ending if it doesn't heal properly? I said, I feel like that's a silly question, but since we're talking about it tonight, I would really like to know if this is something that we could be, could this be the end of Big E? Right? We've always said it, when he does those dives, right, it makes you really nervous. We've seen what neck injuries can do to people like Daniel Bryan and Edge. Granted, those guys have eventually come back, but it stopped them dead in their tracks, and sometimes at the height of their careers.
What is it? Chad Gable.
Chad Gable. I thought about Jason Jordan.
That's what I meant. Jason Jordan. Okay.
And so Dr. Vidal says, I guess it remains to be seen on how he feels. These professional athletes are a different breed. He'll have to weigh out the pros and cons with his medical team to make sure the best decision. So that's straight from Dr. Paul Vidal. He's obviously our doc at Specialized Physical Therapy. Once again, guys, make sure you guys are checking them out. Facebook, online. If you need help with sports medicine, he's a doctor call. So based on all of that I got from the doc, right, 6 to 12 weeks, that we're going to call that 3 months, right? That puts us in June. That's if everything's perfect.
Yep.
Right? But nothing's ever perfect. Right? So let's assume, for argument's sake, right, that it doesn't heal exactly how it's supposed to, and they need to go in and do surgery, right, of some kind, right? He's done for the year. Chalk it, call it a wrap, whatever you want to do, he's done for the year. Okay? Because, again, this is something to where you don't want to rush, like the doc said, you don't want to rush back to something like this. Right? You don't want, this is your neck, man. It's your back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is not something that you take lightly. This is, one, thank God he didn't die. Right? Two, thank God he's not paralyzed. Right? We've seen crazier shit happen. Like, look at Austin. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin and how right after that pile driver from Owen, his neck's never been the same.
No.
Look at Draws, right? Still in a wheelchair. The man is still in a wheelchair. Right? These are all very, very real possibilities. So, and then, not to mention, let's say he does get completely healed up. There's training, because he's not going to be able to do any training while he's, healing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's training. There's rehab. There's relearning all these different things. Right? No shot we see him in 2022. None. And let's be very clear. I don't want to see him in 2022. Take all the time you need.
Yeah.
Take as much humanly time as possible to make sure that when you come back, you're coming back, and you're coming back in the right state of body, like physical state. Right? Don't just come back because you get cleared. Fuck that. Right? Come back when you know that what you're coming back to is 100%.
Correct.
Pete Evans says this could be a blessing in disguise. Absence make the heart grow fonder. I agree. Right?
Yep, I agree.
Edie Zahari, about the questions if Big E's not coming back in 2022, it'll be difficult to answer because depending on the recovery and the individual and type of injury. I think Big E will be at least out 3 to 4 months because he doesn't need surgery. But see my previous rant. Jake Friel from HED Friday night, Fan Friday, I'm sorry, says, what's up, boys? I'm going to agree to the poll. He's very lucky to be alive. Depending on the severity of his neck injury, I think he comes back middle of 2023. I think that's a bit much, but you're agreeing with me, so I'll let you have it. Frank Vesky says, evening, guys. I'm hoping he makes a speedy recovery. Check out Frank every Wednesday on the HED Wednesday night. And Wesley Mahan says, NXT does not train them well. Stop.
It's not about NXT training. That's far from it. That's far from it. It's not. It's about these spots they do. They train for these spots. They don't just do these spots all willy nilly. They practice these spots. It's just a matter of in the heat of the moment, a slip.
Two words. We're going to solve it all. Accidents happen.
There we go. Exactly.
And you walk away. Accidents happen. You know what? Yeah, Ridge Holland probably feels like shit today.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
But you know what? Yeah, you fucked up. Right?
Exactly. He's.
But again, I go back to, he's not dead. Right? There's a little glimmer of hope. Todd Womack, Philly Dilly fam. It just sucks. It's before WrestleMania. I agree, right? But
yeah, wholeheartedly.
For Big E, I was kind of really hoping he'd go into WrestleMania as champion, or at least walk out as champion. That's obviously not happening right now. So okay.
Well, supposedly the original idea was the New Day reunion versus Sheamus's little brood.
Fuck off. Don't even we're gonna touch on that.
But I'm just saying that was the That was the whole idea before this injury.
Wesley Mahan, he goes, I just meant that NXT does not equate time on the road in ROH or New Japan. What? Okay, moving on.
I think what he's meaning is NXT doesn't exactly go on the road a lot, but I don't know what that would have to do with.
You're still wrestling. Stop.
Yeah.
Todd Womack, what happened to Xavier Woods? I'll actually tell you right now.
He is out with an injury. He should be back soon, actually.
Yeah, it's a foot injury.
I thought it was wrist.
No, because he was on G4. All right, here we go. He was on a G4 live stream on a scooter. So here it is. Suffered an injury to the plantaris muscle of his calf.
So a calf injury. Got it.
Yep.
But he was supposed to be back soon, too.
Yep.
That was the whole point. Like I said, the WrestleMania program they had planned out for the New Day versus Sheamus's group.
Edie goes, I hope Ridge doesn't get heat because of that. Wrestling's dangerous and injuries can happen and the move doesn't hit right. It happens to almost every wrestler. And I don't think he will, right? I haven't seen anybody on the internet really going after Ridge Holland.
Because I think Ridge was looking after him as soon as that spot happened. Not to mention Ridge went. I think from my understanding, Ridge went straight to the hospital after everything was said and done.
I kind of want to see somebody say something about Ridge Holland because I feel like as soon as somebody does, it's going to be bad for everybody.
I'm pretty sure
going to come down hard on him.
I'm pretty sure people have said stuff about Ridge Holland, whether it be indirectly or directly.
Yeah. So, I at the end of the day, I wish for a speedy recovery for Big E, but I wish for the right recovery for Big E. I don't just want him to come back.
Yep.
Right? I want him to come back when he's ready and able to come back in the right way. So, oh, man, alive. Let's talk about AEW Revolution.
I was about to say, where do you want to start for this week?
Oh, we got to go back to Revolution, right? We went
back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning, where it all began, where my anger of this week started.
What?
You were there. You know what I got angry about.
Yeah. Unleash the beast, brother. Unleash the beast.
So, and Todd, I got your comments over here. He goes, so is Stone Cold just wearing vests and shorts at WrestleMania taking bets? Dude, we're going to get to that. 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 I promise you. Let me do Revolution, and then I promise you I will give you what you want, and I will bitch about this.
Oh, that's not allowed.
I promise you, Todd. Just stay with me, buddy. I never let you down yet.
You sure about that?
Fuck you. All right. So, Revolution.
Good pay-per-view overall.
Overall, great pay-per-view. Okay, the wrestling was good. Okay? But here's what I have a problem with.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
And you're the one that brought it up. So this is all your fault, really, if you think about it.
I got to remember what I brought up. You're going to say it anyway, so.
You had the TBS title, the women's title, and the world title all on the line.
And the tag teams.
And the tag titles. 4 titles on the line. 4 out of your 5. And not a single title changed hands.
Mm-hmm.
What? What? Let me say what's gonna piss plenty of people off. And honestly, I don't give a damn. Hangman Adam Page's title reign sucks. I'm glad he won. Yeah, right.
But what truly gets me though is you have 0 titles change hands on the pay-per-view, but yet during the week, during the live TV, you have 1 change hand then?
And see, this is where everybody is going to start calling them WCW Light. Todd, I get it. No. Hold on. Todd makes a good point. WWE does the same thing. And if you go back to those recap shows where they don't change hands, I'm still bitching. So everybody gets equal bitching here. It just so happens that today it's AEW's turn.
Exactly. And it's like you make everybody pay for this pay-per-view. So they expect, maybe 1 title to change hands or something, but then you give it away for free?
But again, it goes back to the point I was trying to make before Todd made a great comment, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it's WCW Light. We're doing it again. Right. Now, if you go listen to 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, great podcast, by the way. Great podcast.
Yep.
It's been discussed multiple times, so pick any episode, you'll probably hear it. But he says, we were a wrestling company. We were a wrestling organization within a television company. So TV mattered more than pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it made sense when when Goldberg beat Hogan in Atlanta on a random fucking Monday night. Because they were going for ratings. They didn't give a fuck about buys.
Yeah.
Right? But I think it's because WWE for so long would never change the titles on TV.
Yeah.
So at a pay-per-view, you almost expected the titles to change hands.
Yeah. Well, especially when the storylines kind of led to that point. The storylines, you're like, all right, this is where the storyline's diverging and should be ending and splitting off to something new, so that means the title should change hands.
You take your pick of the TBS title, the women's title, or the world title, and you tell me how it hasn't run its course. Look, I love Britt Baker. I think she is one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everything she does, from a promo work to a ring work to her heel work, right? Because you got to work to be a heel.
Yeah.
Especially when you're over like Rover. You got to still work to be a bad bitch.
Yep.
It's all great. But fuck me running if last Sunday night was not Thunder Rosa's time.
I mean...
And I swear to God, if the next words out of your mouth are going to be, well, she's going to win in San Antonio.
No. I was going to say, I mean, they made it so the storyline progressed a little further to a steel cage match. They made the storyline make sense to progress at least another week or two.
And don't get me wrong, right? And
that could have been easily the one title that didn't have to change hands, because they're easily progressing the storyline in a way, So
let me take a step back.
Okay.
Right? I will give AEW credit where credit is due. Okay? That when they don't change the titles, there's at least some kind of very, very quick follow-up. Right?
Yes.
To keep the story progressing. Right now,
in a positive way, and not just some lame...
You stop interrupting?
No.
Now, that being said, none of that happened on Sunday. So walking out of the movie theater, I was pretty salty. And had we done a show Sunday after it happened, I'd have been pretty pissed. Okay?
Yeah.
But I've had time to watch Rampage, watch Dynamite. Watch is a strong word. I know what happens on Rampage. I know what happened on Dynamite. Okay? Yeah. And so I'm a little bit more okay with what happened on Sunday. Okay? So I need everybody to understand that. As I talk about these matches and everything like that, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, so the Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa thing, they made it work. They are probably the only ones that made it work Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you had Rebel and Jamie Hayter get involved. Right? And we even said it. It was me, you, Jackson, Cam, all sitting there. We even said, why the fuck are they at ringside? Where's Mercedes? Why is this not in a steel cage? Why is this? Why is that? Right? There were so many different things that we wanted to see happen, but weren't happening. Right?
Which hopefully the majority of what we wanted to happen this past week happens next week.
Correct.
Because we already know it's inside of a steel cage next week.
Right. Which I'm really excited for. You know,
because this is, I think
I'm really excited for.
I think this is probably the second steel cage match in AEW's history right now.
That I care less about. What I care about is the fact that it's almost a year to the day. Same event last year where these two women had their lights out match.
Yes.
Right?
And I actually kind of like that.
We all know was phenomenal. Right? And that's kind of where this feud really kicked off. So if this is where it caps off, then I'm okay. Right? I'm okay with it. It makes some sense. Right? I still wish Thunder would have won it on the big stage. But I'll take it.
I'll take it, especially if it's in her hometown. Get that hometown hero going.
Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole should have won that title.
I was really expecting Cole and reDRagon to take home the gold.
Because, and here you go. Todd brings it up, right? They're trying to wait for Omega to come back so we get Elite versus Bullet Club or whatever Adam Cole is going to call his faction. But this is how you set it up, right? You set it up with Adam Cole winning the world title, reDRagon winning the TNT title. I mean, the tag title. Sorry. I glanced over and saw the wrong line. And you have them start running through everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like well, who the hell are you going to fight now? And bam, out comes the Elite. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Matt and Nick Jackson walk out, and it's kind of like, oh, you're going to come for the tag titles, but no one's going to touch my title, says Adam Cole. And then you hear Kenny's music. And he comes back as the cleaner. The place pops. Right? And we get a feud, a long-awaited feud between, for lack of a better phrase, the Undisputed Era and the Bullet. And the Elite. And
that's where Revolution should have kicked it all off right then and there. But I guess because they didn't want to shorten Jurassic Express's, title reign, I guess Adam Hangman Page in their eyes is doing really good. I mean, in our eyes, it's not, but in their eyes, it's got to be something.
But take Jurassic Express doesn't need the titles.
No.
Right now, maybe Luchasaurus needs the titles because unfortunately they really haven't done anything with him. Jungle Boy is the star of that tag team, which is unfortunate because Luchasaurus is great.
For a big man,
great.
For the things that big man does, he's great.
Right? He was air traffic control on Sunday night. But that being said, Jungle Boy is the star of that team.
Yeah, by far. I mean, he proved that in his world title match against Kenny Omega, even better.
Exactly. So I really think that you missed a true opportunity on Sunday not to have that image of the Undisputed Era winning all the gold, right? And then at the end of the night, you have Kenny Omega come back.
Yep.
Right.
As much as I hate to see the Bucks in the title picture, that really would have just told me, hey, that makes sense. Don't be mad. Just let it happen.
I'm not a big Bucks fan. I've been saying that for years, right?
Yep.
But if it's for story and it makes sense, I'm all for it. Do whatever you want, right? You're gonna have to hold the titles at some point again, I'm okay with it, right?
And that's what
Because they are. I may not like their characters. Fuck, are they a good tag team?
Yeah.
Jade
even
Card. I'm sorry.
Now you got to. I was about to say, yeah, they're a great tag team, but now you got an even better tag team.
In who?
The Hardy Boys.
Stop. Stop.
But back to Miss Cargill.
And we'll touch on the Hardys later. But Jade versus Ty Conti.
It made sense in an undefeated streak kind of way.
But that woman has beaten everybody.
I mean, her next is Tay Conti's partner, Anna Jay. So that's going to be number 30. So you know she's not losing until she at least number 30.
But that's so dumb. And then they gave her the Undertaker spot with the graphic and shit. Fuck you, Tony Khan. Like, so much about Tony Khan just pisses me off.
Hey man, at the end of the day, as much as I would have loved to see Tay Conti win it, I think they're trying to go for a certain number on that streak before they make her lose it.
Ugh. Spare me. Right?
I get it.
Your undefeated streaks and stuff like that, and your win-loss record. Your win-loss record matters less to me when you're starting to promote an undefeated streak.
Mm.
Right? It was good with the Undertaker's thing. It happened organically, right?
Yeah.
Nobody realized, because if you go back and you watch some of the documentaries on the streak and stuff, nobody realized until he was already like 11 or 12 in that, oh fuck, I've never been beaten at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right? And that was with the birth of the internet and people talking about it and being able to go back and watch on the WWE 24/7 and putting the pieces together, right? So the streak became something of its own organically, right? And so, yeah, it's going to be different.
But streaks these days is just it's hard to. A lot of the fans really don't want to see streaks too much anymore.
Not even that. You have a company that continuously talks about win-loss records and promotes your win-loss records and how it plays into your rankings and this and that and fuck off. Because then you turn around and you take the woman version of Goldberg, I'm sorry, and you put her 30-0, 29-0.
Mm-hmm.
What?
How much was Goldberg up to before he lost?
Like 140 something.
Okay, I don't see them going that much, but
I will beat a bitch.
I mean, they could if they put her on Dark, Elevated, Rampage, Dynamite. I mean, just have her do like 2 to 3 shows each week and have her just blow through everybody. I mean, you could shoot her to the moon real quick within a couple months.
Let's see. Goldberg's undefeated streak actually has its own Wikipedia page. This is incredible. So if you really think about it, Goldberg, 5 matches in, he lost a dark match. He technically lost a dark match 5 matches in, right? Depends on who you talk to if they count it or not. But 162 matches.
Damn.
Like, fuck you. So, all right. So let's do some math here, okay?
Well, I've been doing the math now. If you keep your streak going, make her do like 3 wins a week to the rest of the year, you'd put her up to about 138.
Yeah, but so hold on. So you take the 162 of Goldberg, subtract out 29. That's 133. Okay. Now they have 4 shows. Okay. Take that, divide that by 4. In 33 weeks and 1 show, she will have tied Goldberg's record if she wrestled on every goddamn show. So,
I mean, and then you got to realize the random pay-per-views scattered throughout the rest of the year, so she could get it done by the end of the year.
Let's take that out for a second. Take out the pay-per-views just for a moment, okay?
Okay. I mean, there isn't really that many a year anyways.
That would be Friday, October 28th. Maybe fucking Halloween.
If she went 4 shows a day the rest of the year.
4 shows a week.
4 shows a week.
That's mental. And I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Jade's not a big enough star to continue doing that. And I also believe, right? Let me go into something here. Where is it?
Now here's my thing while you're looking at that. If you're gonna have Jade go on this huge hot streak, you might as well have her win both women's titles just to walk around saying I'm undefeated. I've got 100 and
Fuck you.
I'm touching Goldberg numbers. Somebody come try to beat me.
January 5th, she won the title.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Here we are 2 months later. You could lose it. It's time. You had a good run. 60 days, it's not bad. Fuck off. Fuck me sideways.
Just saying, man.
All right, I gotta go all the way back. There we go. Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Loved it. Loved Regal coming out at the end. Right, I love Regal with these two. I think it just brings it all together in a really, really nice, pretty bow. They were
great surprise debut. Bloody. Great surprise debut.
It's great.
I think honestly, I think it was better than Swerve's debut. Not gonna lie.
Go back and watch it. Tony Schiavone fucked that.
What?
He fucked it up.
Oh, yeah. I remember that part. Because we can see the contract.
You can see in big, bold letters, some asshole had Swerve on there. And Tony Schiavone's talking with his hands, and he had it like this, and the camera caught Swerve. I was like, well, there goes that excitement. Yeah, fuck.
You knew it was going to happen, but you didn't, you weren't expecting it, and then you're like, oh, Swerve. Cool. Hi, Swerve.
Todd wants to know if there's going to be a tag team tournament. I don't know. Who's going to be the first to beat Jade? I think it's going to be Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
I really would have liked Ty to win, but I think it's going to be Ruby. Man, Edie Zahari sending paragraphs over here. Adam Page will retain against Adam Cole after Kenny Omega's music hits distract Cole and potentially make 6-man tag match. We already talked about that. Thunder Rosa, it's her time to win. If not, missed opportunity. And he goes, do you think Wardlow will lose the TNT Championship match due to MJF screwing him over? Or will Wardlow win the title, set up not only just a feud, but a feud for the title? I like it if it's a feud for the title.
No, I think MJF's screwing Wardlow after this week's talk on Dynamite. I think this is where we get Wardlow versus MJF before Wardlow wins anything. Scorpio Sky's on another hot streak. They're not going to have Scorpio Sky win the title and then lose the following week.
You want to bet?
I mean, stupider shit's happened, but still.
Here's what I want to happen. Mostly because I'm a Wardlow fan.
I am too.
And because MJF is so good at playing just a genuine cocksucker.
Hence why I think he's going to make Wardlow lose.
This would just make me laugh because I would love to see what he would do with this. Wardlow wins. And so Wardlow is a champion before MJF. That would be priceless.
Which is why I think MJF would cost Wardlow that chance.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Because he wouldn't want Wardlow to be champion before him.
In all reality, Wardlow's not winning on Wednesday.
I thought you were honestly the way you kept talking. I thought you were going to go the Andre $1 Million Man route, but MJF Wardlow style,
I would
making
be
Wardlow
pissed.
force Wardlow to give that title to him because he's still under contract.
I'd be pissed. Whatever show would be on when that happens, I would be furious. Okay, Ted, we're going to talk about something. Okay? We're going to talk about something. I want you to look. Okay? We're going to go all the way back to this. I'm Ritz. Okay? Me. That's Butters.
He heard my part and didn't hear a damn thing you said.
No, because he did it the other day when I was streaming and called me Butters. Stop. Okay?
Oh.
Stop.
Gotcha. I thought maybe he just didn't hear you and he only heard me.
No. Anyway, moving on. In all reality, I think it's dumb if they don't put the title on Wardlow after him winning that match. I get why you wouldn't. Yeah,
I mean, you wouldn't because you just had Scorpio Sky win it. I mean, he's another person that's on an undefeated streak currently for the year.
Right. You put him in a weird position.
Exactly.
Right.
You could. I mean, I get it. You didn't want him to lose, but at the same time, if that was the case, then you shouldn't have put him in the match for the title. But at the same time, they did it because of his win-loss record. God, AEW, I hate your win-loss record thing.
I think sometimes they back themselves into a corner where it makes people look bad. Like, if MJF doesn't come out and fuck up this match and Wardlow just legitimately loses, then I have a problem.
Yeah, because, I mean, you look at, what was it, last week, Wardlow versus the guy bigger than him. Wardlow destroys him. But there's no way Scorpio, in that sense, there's no way Scorpio should win against Wardlow other than maybe by disqualification, by count out, something.
Exactly. Right. And I don't like the fact that the match happens 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Because now, it's, Sammy defends this week. Wardlow gets his title shot the week after. We just had a title change hands. Now everybody's kind of half expecting Wardlow to lose, and it be because of MJF.
Yep, you've ruined the potential surprise. Yeah,
you ruined the mystique behind what we're going to see because now everybody's pretty much guessing what's going to happen.
See, Jax is saying Wardlow's going to beat Scorpio. I like it. I think he should, right? But I'll take the other side, the side that you're taking, and say, hey, I can see it. I can see them go in this other direction. But the story is so much better. If Wardlow wins, he has gold before MJF. I think MJF can take that story and run with it. Right?
Oh, by far.
I think Wardlow has that cockiness about him to where he doesn't have to say much. He just has to look at MJF and go, champion. Not. And walk off, right? So I definitely think that Jax and I are on the same page here. But I've watched enough wrestling where I can see the other side of things happening too.
Yep.
Right? I can see MJF coming down. I would hate this. I swear to God I would. If MJF came down and cost him the title. I don't think that's a good enough story.
Well, it'd just be payback for Wardlow costing MJF with the Dynamite ring.
No, I get it, right? He said Scorpio won, so it would be face versus heel. When he wins, MJF is going to challenge him, so we'll finally get Wardlow MJF. I like all of it. Right? I 100% agree with Jack. I think the story's better. I think it builds to a better Wardlow MJF match. When MJF eventually beats Wardlow, because it will happen, it'll be for the title. He'll beat a big guy, right? because correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't have this information, just sitting here at abundance, right? But I don't think MJF's ever really fought anybody too big, like physically big, like Wardlow.
Trying to think. I don't think he has either. I think everybody's been about his size. Darby, Punk, even in the early stages. Don't think he's because, yeah, no. Don't think he
Exactly.
has.
So
This would be a mountain to overcome.
exactly. So it tells such a better story.
But then you also got the stupidity that's running through my mind. That just ran through my mind.
Shock.
Yeah, I know. Here's another bit to throw out there. Wardlow wins. MJF wants that match. You lay down and take the pin. I have your contract.
All right, I'm done with him tonight. More dumb shit coming out of his mouth.
Hey, they're going by that whole MJF owns his contract, so
Jax goes false. He's not beating Wardlow. 2022 is going to be the rough patch year for MJF before he challenges for the AEW World Title. Hey, I'm cool with it, right? I'm very cool with it. If that ends up happening. But again, I can see this going one way. I can see it going the other way. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just because we're so prone to thinking one thing and getting something else because of what we've got with WWE over all the years. Right?
Yeah.
And yes, AEW is different. But some of the stuff they do, it's very, very similar. And you're like, really? Like, what are you doing? It goes back to our comment we made earlier where it's like, you know what? Sometimes I think they book themselves into a little bit of a corner. They do a phenomenal job getting out of it, right? And all you got to do is give them the time to do it, right? And that's why I'm really glad that we aren't live after an AEW pay-per-view. Like, I'm really glad we don't live react and then to any AEW pay-per-views.
It's going to happen one of these days. We're going to find an AEW pay-per-view that's going to be a blast, and we're going to have to end up live reacting to it.
Which is fine, but hopefully at least at that one, we're live reacting in the best way possible.
Right?
Right? Because, again, after Sunday, while, yes, it was a great pay-per-view, I had some issues.
We had our issues.
That weren't resolved till Wednesday or Friday.
Or next week, potentially.
Or potentially next week. Correct. Right? So, I'm very excited for what's to come with AEW. Right? It's fun to kind of sit there and say, hey, you know what? There's some unpredictability here. Whereas over in the WWE, it's kind of like, really? Is that what we did today? Why did we do that? But I still enjoy watching WWE, and I always will. And I think that's more of I've been watching them for years. They, the only company I ever watched for the longest time. And you'll always go, at least I will. I'll always go back and watch that stuff and keep up with it. Not just because we do this show. Right? Because there's familiarity there. There's, you know what? I may not be 100% into what AEW is doing. I have something else that I watch that I know what I'm going to get here. Right?
Yeah.
I wish there was a little bit more hype right now around WrestleMania. A lot of what we're seeing card-wise does not super excite me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it out there now. We're not live reacting to night 1. We're only going to live react to night 2. I shouldn't say I can't get out of, I'm choosing not to get out of my work thing. I'm going to be there. I'll watch. I'm not even watching it live. I'm going to watch it the next day, right before we go on the air to live react.
Mm-hmm.
Right? don't get me wrong. There's some stuff on night one that I'm, that's projected for night one that I'm pretty excited for.
Correct.
Right? But not enough to say, God damn, I gotta stay home and watch. And that's big for me because if you know me, WrestleMania means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like Day of Jubilee. But
such great Jubilee.
It is. It's a pretty good Jubilee. But with that being said, I'll take what I can get and, do what's quote unquote best for business. And I think that's what AEW does. They do what's best for business in long form.
Yep.
Right? Their long-term storytelling, and Jack loves bringing this up every time we talk about it. Their long-term storytelling is always great. And you saw that. That's why when Hangman Adam Page won the title, it made so much sense. It was the right call. It was a great moment. It fit the story. Everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's also why, okay, you really didn't do anything after that. He didn't fight for 6 weeks. You barely saw him, right? Whereas with Kenny Omega, when he was champion, you saw him not all the time, but you saw him enough, right? You still knew he may not have fought, but you still knew he was there.
And that's what a lot of people have problems with is the long-term, storyline booking. That yes, they like long-term storyline booking, but they think that Tony doesn't know when to end the long term. At some point, yes, he can end it, but for the most part, at what point in a long-term storyline do you end it? This would be the perfect. What do you mean?
You don't. You absolutely don't. And let me tell you why. Before somebody chimes in and just absolutely annihilates you. Wrestling, professional wrestling, at its simplest form, is a television drama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Look at all your long-running television dramas. Okay? They all have continuity. Comic books. You work in a comic book store. All the comic books have continuity. Until you do some massive Worlds Collide, New 52 reboot, what happened 6 years ago, or 6 months ago, or 6 weeks ago, or 6 days ago is always going to happen. It's always going to be there. It happened. We're not ignoring the past.
Yeah. I'm not saying that.
No. I know you're not. But the people that are bitching about long-term storytelling, right, live in the world of episodic television, where every episode it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One doesn't follow the other. You can just pick up a series and start watching it.
Correct.
Right? Whereas something like, oh, hell, ER, MASH, Grey's Anatomy, even MASH was episodic, NCIS, Law and Order, Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow. While, yes, they have weekly stories, there's an overarching plot. There's an overarching story that goes in there, right? Yeah. So while you're dealing with your weekly little issue, you're still keeping your eye on that season issue or yearly issue or whatever that series issue. And that's what AEW is doing. They've said, hey, we're going to tell a constant story for this character.
Correct.
In all our characters. It's the same copy and paste this formula for everybody. But we're going to tell a constant story. So anything that happens along the way automatically becomes part of their past and their story. So while Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega had their little spat, insert time here, and then Hangman goes away, comes back, we're bringing it up again because it's what happened in the past. Right? No different than, how Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley have referenced their past. No different than how Jungle Boy will be mentioned if Kenny Omega is champion again.
Correct.
Right? Hey, we had a great match, but I didn't beat you. I want another shot. It took me a while to get here. Because initially I wasn't a big fan of it. Right? But I had to take a step back. And a lot of people have to take a step back and realize that these stories will never truly end. We talked about it last week, right? When we were previewing Revolution between CM Punk and MJF. And you were swearing that MJF was going to win. First of all, you were fucking wrong. I love being right. Second of all, we're not going directly into a rubber match between these two because of the events that happened. So yeah, the MJF CM Punk storyline, I don't think it's really done. Right?
Correct.
But now MJF's going to go, I'm going to deal with you later. Right? I have to deal with this bitch who decided to fucking piss me off. Okay? So it's long-term storyline is good. It's a good thing. You know, Jack says, perhaps we're conditioned to end it when we think it should, instead of proper timing. Hangman was 2 years. CM Punk MJF was technically 7 years. The Young Bucks and reDRagon is 5 years. Right? Long-term storytelling is a good thing, people.
Yep.
I don't want anybody to try to tell me that it's not. Okay? My only gripe is the Young Bucks, the reDRagon, the Elite, Undisputed Era, Bullet Club, whatever you want to call them. I felt like you should have kicked that off. You should have laid the groundwork for that on Sunday. Because we really haven't done anything with Adam Page. It's unfortunate because I think Adam Page is great, but they really didn't do anything with him. Mm-hmm. They haven't done anything with him. You know, so it's disappointing, but you need to move on.
That's true.
Right? And we need to move on. Ryan Brodo says, in honor of WWE's recent name changes, I'm officially renaming you to Francis and Simon. The fuck you are.
So you'll be Francis and I'll be Simon? I'll take it.
No. Okay. We're going to do this, aren't we? We're going to do this right now.
Hey. I just want to know who... why we had to get Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid in wrestling. I mean, so does that mean Sheamus or Rich Holland Sundance Kid?
I need somebody. Somebody out there that isn't this fuck to explain to me why you want to take somebody like Pete Dunne, who has arguably one of the most notable names in UK wrestling, most notable NXT names, most notable indie wrestling names, and we're going to call him Butch.
Yeah, to be quite honest, the only thing I could think of is it's a naming rights thing. They want to own that name. They can't own the name to Pete Dunne because that's his name.
Fuck off.
I'm just saying, that's about the only thing I could even remotely come up with to rename him Butch.
But that's so dumb.
I get it, but there you go.
Don't even get me started on that. Gunther. Like
Gunther.
Why take Walter
and
change him to Gunther?
Again, like I said, it comes up every time. It's a whole naming thing. You know, they don't. WWE wants to own the name owns the rights to those names. So they just changed the name. Yes, you could always just call him Pete and own the right to the name Pete. Instead of calling him Pete Dunne, we'd all know who he is.
But why? But where I find flaw with that, okay, and it's nothing to do with you specifically, right? Well, yes, you are an idiot, but it's nothing to do with you specifically. If you were going to do that, why are you waiting till just now? And don't you fucking dare tell me it's because we're moving him to the main roster.
No. I couldn't even begin to tell you why we wait till now. I don't understand why you wouldn't have changed his name at the very beginning. I get it, you're over in the UK, so that's a different set of laws, but maybe once you move to the US, you can do your own thing. I guess when it comes to naming rights. That's another thing I could.
You should have just stopped this, and I don't know, right? Don't try to fill this in. Don't try to justify it.
I'm not trying to justify it. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world.
Why do you wait? Right, if you're gonna make a change to somebody, okay,
change it when they debut.
Whether it's good or bad, I don't give a fuck. Do it when they debut, just like you said. Right, because now Pete Dunne's been in the WWE. Jax, if you're still there, help me out here. Like what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, since the debut of NXT UK.
Longer than that. Didn't he make an appearance prior to?
He was in the NXT. UK? No, he was in the NXT UK tournament. I think that was his first exposure in WWE. Because he was in the I think he was in the finals.
Okay, you're right. That's 2016, right? That's 6 fucking years, guys. 6 fucking years.
I hate to say it, but I cannot wait to see what happens with Simone. To see what the hell they're going to change her name to.
Who?
Simone, the Rock's daughter. She's almost ready to become up to NXT herself. So I can't wait to see what stupid name they give her.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't need her to debut as Simone.
I understand that. But at least if she doesn't debut as Simone, at least she'll debut with a name we can all learn, unless they decide, you know what, that's your NXT name. Let's debut you with a main roster name.
Go fuck yourself. Simone the Pebble Johnson.
I kind of like it, but still.
but again, though, right now you're talking about doing it when they debut, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Right, but we're not talking about a debut. We're talking
about 6 years.
Walter was on top of the goddamn world.
Yep.
It was Walter's world, and we were all living in it. Right. And then you made him Gunther, and then the Imperium's essentially toast, and like sparkle, 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 sprinkle, 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 dust, dust, dust. Right? We Thanos snapped it.
I mean, luckily so far, and I'm only saying this so far.
You ever notice when he's about to say something really dumb, he doesn't look down at me? He looks up and away.
So far, Ciampa has kept his name on his main roster debut.
Because he'll retire if they change his name. I'm impressed he's on the main roster. Like 2 years ago, he said, you put me on the main roster, I'm retiring.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they just talked him into it.
Jack says the reason why Walter and Dunn had their name changed is because if and when they leave WWE, they can keep their name wherever else they go. They won't have a road situation again.
No, that's totally no. The Rhodes situation is Dusty's last name wasn't Rhodes when he came in the damn WWE. They kind of took that right. Pete Dunne's his own damn name. They can't. The problem is they cannot get the rights to Pete Dunne's name without him signing it off.
It's not his name, but it's not his name. Okay, the guy's name is Peter Thomas England.
Okay, so they want to be able to create their own stars instead of having their stars create their own selves.
No, listen to what Jax is saying there, though. Okay, I'm going to put it back up. If and when they leave WWE, they have the ability to go and be Walter again somewhere else. They have the ability to go be done somewhere else. Cody didn't have the ability to go be Cody Rhodes anywhere else. He had to be just Cody. Right? He couldn't, like it. Cody Rhodes carries a lot more weight than just Cody.
Correct.
Right? Now, granted, we're in the age of the internet, and everybody in fifth grade knew that Cody was Cody Rhodes. Very simple.
But at the same time, do you really think Walter and Pete Dunne are going to be able to keep their names since they were already Walter and Pete Dunne in NXT UK and NXT?
Yes, because back to Jax's point, right? You're restructuring your contract going up to the main roster. I guarantee you it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in the restructure, it said, hey, we're going to do this. No, you're not. I'll take a name change.
I mean, that's fine and dandy, but at this, like I said, at the same time, I feel like because WWE, since you're on there, regardless of what roster you're on, UK, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, I feel like whatever name you have, they own it regardless, unless it's just your own name, because they cannot own your name.
If they can.
You have to sign off on it. They won't allow you to copyright your name unless you sign off on that.
Say that one more time.
I said, your name can't be copyrighted unless you signed off on it.
And what's to say that they haven't, though?
Well, and that's true.
Right. But before we go any further, neither one of us are experts on copyright laws, trademarking, or anything like that. Okay? That's number one. So all of this, you very, very easily can have all of that signed over to somebody. Look at Henry Cavill. Netflix owns this motherfucker's image. That's why you don't see him in Peacemaker or Shazam. They own the motherfucker's image. Just like WWE.
I think Shazam, from what I understood, Shazam was more because he couldn't cut his beard because of Mission Impossible.
WWE owns the likeness and the rights to the images for all these assholes. There's a reason why we can't show you the Big E injury. Let alone that, fuck off that it's a Fox property. It's also a WWE property.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they very, very well could have these names trademarked, copyrighted, and then never be able to use them again.
Correct.
Look at fucking Owen Hart.
His old lady owns all that.
She does, but no one's ever been able to use it until she said, hey, go do this. She owns it all. Right? The estate owns it all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No different than The Undertaker's. The name The Undertaker. Right? It's a name. You can trademark fucking anything.
Correct.
Right? So what's to say that they're not going to trademark and copyright Pete Dunne? If they haven't done it already.
Yerp.
They were Walter and Pete Dunne in the Indies. Those were their names. Right? Because here's the other thing. What's to say that those two fucks don't own the name and the rights of Walter and Pete Dunne?
True.
And said, you know what? No, fuck you. Not gonna give that to you unless you're gonna pay me more.
Yeah.
Right? Jax goes, still upset. Big E dropped Langston. Still upset. Ali dropped Mustafa.
That might have not have been their doing. That might have just been a WWE thing. Because WWE really likes those single names.
He's not saying that it was their decision. He knows it was a WWE decision.
True.
Right? Where I'm at is, I don't give a shit that Big E dropped Langston. right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was calling him Big E anyway. Right? I never said Big E Langston. It was always Big E.
You probably said it the first time, like, who the fuck is this Biggie Langston character?
You know, and then Mustafa Ali. It was all, for me at least, it was always Ali.
Yeah.
Or just Mustafa, right? I never went Mustafa Ali. Unless we were like physically reading something or talking about it, I never said Mustafa Ali. It's not like, you know, John Cena. I don't just call him John.
Mustafa. What?
Why do I do this with you?
Because I'm loved by all.
No, because Jax wasn't available on Saturday nights.
All right, Paul.
Damn, I'm good. I love being me.
Fucking Triple H is not wanting to work Tuesdays.
You're only WWE champion for a year because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, it was gold. What that will go down as one of my favorite promos of all time.
Oh, by far.
ECW One Night Stand as a whole might be one of my favorite pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You better freaking believe it.
Like from the now, granted, the beginning's kind of the wrestling's good, but it's kind of But from the time Paul Heyman comes out till the end of that show, it's just great. And I'm also a sucker for a big brawl, and I got my brawl at the end. So.
Oh yeah. And how Tanaka took all those chair shots to the head and still lived, nobody knows to this day.
Yeah. RK Bro are the tag team champions again.
Woohoo!
Can Butters see chat because he needs to advocate for a raise? He can, but he's got to click buttons to see it.
I mean, I see it. Give Butters a raise. That's pretty, you know. Heyo.
But I need to know why. Why do you think Butters deserves a raise? Because he doesn't watch it. Jax doesn't watch every week. Okay? So I have one in the chamber, loaded and ready to go for when Jax says you need a raise. Because I remember a very certain show where you said something really dumb.
Who, me?
Yes, you. That I will never, ever let you live down.
I'm trying to figure out what that is because it seems like every show I'm saying something very, very dumb. I mean, it could be the Royal Rumble spot.
You've been dissing him for the last 10 minutes. Reparations. All right, Jax. Here you go.
Damn.
Here you go.
Damn.
Hold on. Here's why I give Butters a hard time. Okay? We were talking about the Royal Rumble.
I knew it.
Okay?
I knew it.
And I don't remember who or how or what, but somehow we get into how this person's going to come out at number 30 and they're going to win the Royal Rumble. And I asked Butters very, very seriously, how? How do you think that's going to happen, Butters? Do you want to know what Butters' answer was? Oh, you do? Let me tell you. He said that the ring was going to break and everybody that was in the ring was going to fall over the top rope and just one person would be left standing in the ring, and that's how they would win the Royal Rumble.
It'll eventually happen.
No, it won't.
You don't think WWE's going to be desperate enough to try something like that eventually?
I hope they never, ever get there.
I hope they do just to prove you wrong.
No, first of all.
Thanks, Jax.
Rich, I would like to apologize. Fire Butters.
Thanks, buddy.
I knew that would get you. So how do you feel about RK Bro being the new tag team champions?
Hey, it's good. It's. I mean, leads up to a potential match at Mania. Maybe between Alpha Academy. Maybe between, Wow, why their names just we want the smoke. Fuck.
Street Profits.
Street Profits. Thank you. You know, I really like this combination of Randy Orton and Riddle right now. I'm not gonna lie. Just the two personalities just make me laugh every week.
No, I think it's great. No, I'm okay with them being the tag team champions. All right, we're here, so we might as well talk about it.
NXT?
No, before NXT.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't get on Twitter as much as I would like to during the week.
Mm-hmm.
So I never saw this tweet. So now this a lot more makes sense now. Okay. WWE tweeted out when Braun Breaker showed up on Raw with Tommaso Ciampa. It said, "Welcome to WWE Raw NXT Champion Braun Breaker."
Mm-hmm.
Did they just call up Braun Breaker? Is that why he lost the title to Dolph?
No, I think the losing the title to Dolph was meant to have him win it back at the NXT before WrestleMania. The NXT show they're doing WrestleMania weekend. I think this is to give them a big
one at like noon on
yes
Saturday. Which, by the way, that's fucking stupid.
I think this is meant just to further the storyline a little between Dolph and Braun. You have Ciampa take the loss. Braun still looks good. Braun wins it back for the NXT 2.0 locker room and tells Dolph Ziggler to take a hike. But it's also could be a chance to see what Dolph Ziggler can do with a world title again without being injured, hopefully again.
I don't know.
But I just see it as more of it's to give Braun another title win. I think it's more just to further the storyline between Ziggler and Braun so we get that singles match.
In my opinion, my very, very humble opinion, I think this was the wrong time to take the title off of Braun.
But
at least with the wrong person too. I'm not big on how we're gonna say it's NXT 2.0, but here comes Dolph Ziggler to fight for the title.
Yeah. But
right?
It could make sense if for his main roster debut for them to change his name if the rumors that are flying around are true. Now, I'm not saying I'm not talking about changing the Breaker to something stupid. I'm talking about changing it to Steiner.
So changing it back.
Correct. Because if the rumors are true,
I was gonna fucking light you up.
No.
We just got done talking about name changes.
I know. No. This is more to give him back the Steiner name. If the rumors are true, then some of the potential Hall of Fame candidates for this year, one of them being the Steiner brothers, is part of the rumor mill. Sharmell, Psycho Sid, and the Steiners.
Sharmell, god damn it! I didn't see that.
That's the current rumor.
Oh.
So if it is the Steiner brothers, then there is a full-blown reason for this. You call him up to the main roster. You give him the Steiner name.
Well, and they had that video package where they mentioned he's the son of Rick and the nephew of Scott, right? So it makes sense, right? And you know what? I'm cool with that, right? That makes it okay to a degree, right? I can't really knock that if they're going to go back to him being Braun Steiner or however the fuck they word it, right? Braun's a weird name, but
I think if that's the way they're going, then makes perfect sense to take it off of main roster run. He's a Steiner again. Daddy and Uncle get inducted in the Hall of Fame. If that's the case, I really want to be there for that Hall of Fame.
Hey man, I will drive up to Dallas on Friday night, and I will drive back Saturday morning.
Because we all know how that. Granted,
give me an excuse to see Vince McMahon induct Undertaker.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, the way Scott has talked about this, I feel like if this is, because for his nephew, I think he'd be a little more, calm about it. Yeah, reserved. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for.
I love the team of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. I don't know why I love it, but I love it.
I'm digging it too.
We are gonna kind of breeze through some of this week in wrestling just because we're running out of time. But we got to talk about it, and because I know this conversation is going to take a while. Kevin Owens at the end of Monday Night Raw. We took the last segment of Monday Night Raw for Kevin Owens to stand in the middle of the ring and call out Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Can't believe they did it. I doubt, I'll say I can't believe they did it if it turns into a match, but I just still can't believe they got him to at least appear.
But here's the part. Here's the part that pisses me off. Okay?
Bring it.
You use the main event of Monday Night Raw to call out Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not for a match. No. He's getting called out to be on the KO show.
Which potentially could lead to a match.
Please see my no just a few seconds ago.
I get that. I get that. I'm just...
But, at least have the KO show, set. Have the end of the night be the KO show, and you're talking shit about Texas and all this other stuff, blah, 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 and then you call out Austin. Or, I don't know, let the glass break, let Austin walk his redneck ass down to the ring, stand in the middle of the ring, stare at Kevin Owens, and then just glance up at the sign, stun Owens, and walk the fuck back out.
That's all it really means. You don't need a match.
I don't need a match. I don't want a match. Right?
And if it is a match, it's only to end his career on a high instead of ending it on a low, losing to The Rock.
Fuck you.
I'm just saying.
Not you specifically, right? But no. At that point, at that time.
That could be the only reason I see.
But at that point, at that time, you went out on your back.
Yeah.
You put the guy that was staying, the girl that was staying, you put them over. Stone Cold Steve Austin does not need this for his career.
No.
To say, oh, I went out on a high. You had 32. If nothing else, you had your appearance at WrestleMania 32. Then you were there again for... No, you're 30, right? But you fucking stunned them at 32.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? Why? Look, I'm a
Why do you need? I'm
a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. I love the Texas Rattlesnake. Some of my favorite wrestling moments involve Austin. But I feel like this is unnecessary, and I'm getting so tired, and it gives me a headache when we continuously have the past coming back for one more moment. You don't need it. Now, somebody like Edge, this makes sense because Edge is able to come back and wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
We all know Austin's got a bad neck and 2 bad knees.
This is just to put butts in seats at Mania, to be quite honest. At the end of the day, we all know this is to try to increase ticket sales.
But you don't need to.
No, you don't. But
if you do it right,
they probably looked at the early numbers and got scared.
But then do something about it that doesn't involve bringing back the past. Because you know what? those of us that probably could go don't want to go. We don't want to go. We don't want to. And here's the other thing. I still haven't made my decision because I haven't done it yet. And I feel like I'm going to need to before I really make this call. I've sat through long WrestleManias in stadiums. I did 35 where it was like 8 bloody hours in the arena.
Correct.
Okay? I haven't done the 2-night thing, so I don't know how I feel about it. But I don't know if I like, from a financial side, I know I definitely don't like it, the idea of having to buy another ticket. Right? Because now think about, here, let me walk you through, because you've never done WrestleMania.
Well,
okay?
here's the problem, though. Real quick. The other thing that makes no sense with that is they canceled Access this year.
So let me get to my point because it's
go ahead.
going to make yours. Okay? Let me walk you through WrestleMania week. From solely the WWE, because so much other pandemonium shit happens, but solely just the WWE. Thursday night, WrestleMania Access opens. Okay, it's a very, very brief, very short opening. There's no signings. There's no nothing like that. You're able to go in and see all the stuff that they have set up for that year. On Friday, the signings start, right? It's open. And in recent years, they've had their superstore. Okay? Friday night has been NXT. Okay? No, I'm sorry, has been the Hall of Fame. Right? Obviously, this is before SmackDown was back on Fridays. It was, they were doing it on Tuesdays, yada, yada, yada. Okay? And then Saturday, you have your WrestleMania Access all day long. It's when you got a lot of your signings. Everybody's there. It's rocking. It's rolling. It's a ton of fun. There's NXT stuff happening throughout Access. They've got tournaments and whatnot throughout. They've shot some tapings at Access in the years past. But Saturday night has been the NXT show. If it wasn't on Friday, it was on Saturday. The Hall of Fame and the NXT show have flip-flopped over the years, just depending on where SmackDown's been out on the schedule. Right? So Saturday night was an event. Sunday, you could still go to Access in the morning, right? But they typically wrapped up Access around like 2 or 3, because then everybody makes his or her way to the arena. You do WrestleMania, right? The next day, is the last day of Access is Monday, and then you have the Raw after WrestleMania.
Correct.
Okay. Now, what you have this year, Friday night, you have SmackDown and then the Hall of Fame. Saturday, you have NXT Stand and Deliver at like noon. And then you have WrestleMania Night 1. Sunday, you have WrestleMania Night 2. Monday, you have the Hall of Fame. All right, take COVID out of it, because I think COVID plays a role in it.
It does, but from what I'm understanding, as a way to, I guess, give fans a little bit back because they're canceled Access, they're doing some sort of big Walmart meet and greet thing at Walmart that weekend too.
I don't give a shit about that. That has nothing to do with where I'm going with this. Okay. So let me finish. So number one, I do think COVID plays a role in it. I don't think it plays a big role in it, but God forbid you have Access the day before WrestleMania, and when somebody goes to the arena the next day, if they're still doing testings at the arena, and somebody pops positive the morning of WrestleMania, like, fuck. Okay?
That just ends that whole thing.
Right. that's a whole different argument in and of itself. But also, with doing the 2 nights of WrestleMania, and then you're having NXT during the day, you're having a long SmackDown the night before, there's physically no way to do Access, and you potentially still make the money that you're going to make. Because now, when you step away from WWE at WrestleMania weekend, you have WrestleCon. You know, we know that Mission Pro Wrestling is going to be part of the Collective Bangers Only show at like 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have all these other shows that are going on that weekend too, that people go to. Right? So there's physically no way that you can do Access this year at WrestleMania because of how you're doing everything else.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was almost inevitable that Access was going to get canceled. I would be very surprised if Access ever comes back in this form.
Right?
I think WWE you could make this a con weekend.
You could have canceled SmackDown and put NXT on Friday.
No, you couldn't have. No, you couldn't have. There's no way in Schitt's Creek that you're going to cancel SmackDown before WrestleMania. 24 hours before WrestleMania, you're not going to have a show. You're going to have your NXT show go on 24 hours. No, I'm sorry.
It was just a thought. I mean,
no. I get where you're coming from, right? In my opinion, you should have kept NXT Tuesday
mm-hmm.
in the same city. Right? Because when we did Dallas in 32, right? Jackson and I went for Dallas. It was NXT Friday night. Saturday was the Hall of Fame. Sunday was WrestleMania. Monday was Raw. We drove back here for SmackDown on Tuesday. Right? You could have done SmackDown on Friday. If you're going to do night 1, if you're going to have it 2 nights, fine. Night 1, night 2, Raw on Monday, stand and deliver on Tuesday. Move the Hall of Fame to Thursday. The Thursday before SmackDown. There it is. There's your week. If you're not going to give me Access, right, or you want to try to do all these other fucking things, there's your week.
Yeah.
Right? Because most people fly in Thursday morning. Most of your crazy bastards fly in Thursday morning. Some people go to the Hall of Fame. Mostly, it's usually locals, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the week and people are leaving Wednesday. It's perfect. Right? That's how you book that. Okay? And so, yeah, does it suck? I liked Access. When we did Access at 35, we went back Monday. We had so much fun on Saturday, we went back Monday morning.
Yeah.
Right? But I think WWE would benefit from turning this into a con weekend. Right? Pick a weekend. Right? It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a pay-per-view weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Necessarily. It doesn't have to be. But pick a Saturday. Really, because you really only need a Saturday.
Yeah.
And do it Comic-Con style.
Before WrestleMania.
No. Take it away from WrestleMania weekend. There's too much going on WrestleMania weekend right now. If you're going to do 2 nights of WrestleMania to where it's not going to come back. Put it at SummerSlam. Put it at Royal Rumble. Put it at Survivor Series. Or put it like Money in the Bank or some other lesser pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Right? To now make that one that people want to go to.
True.
So there's a ton of different factors into why you cancel Access. I was really, really sad when I saw the news because of just the memories I have of Access and how, like, the next WrestleMania I was going to go to, right? I said I wasn't going to travel a lot for WrestleManias anymore. I plan on going next year. It was on the West Coast. I've never done a West Coast. I've never been to the West Coast. I've never done a West Coast pay-per-view, let alone a WrestleMania. But, that's something I would look forward to. If I'm not going to get that next year, that might sway my decision.
Yeah.
On going. So, but the Stone Cold thing, whatever. It's going to happen, right? It is what it is.
Big shout out to Vader, Hall of Fame induction this year.
He's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
It's about time.
Nice. It's very exciting. I mean, I really don't have anything else to take away from this week in wrestling.
Nope.
From a WWE side, we touched on AEW.
You know what? I did like the whole Paige Van Zant signing from AEW this week.
You know what? You're jumping ahead.
Oh,
right. I was wrapping up the WWE, and I was going to start talking about AEW.
Oh, I thought we were wrapping up in general.
No. So the line was.
Oh.
That's really all I got for WWE this week.
Okay.
We touched on a lot of AEW, except I was going to start with the Paige Van Zant signing. I read an article that said they're going to start pushing. She's going to go all in on it, and she's going to get a pretty solid push right out the gate.
Okay.
Which is really exciting. I think she's going to do great. And that's about all I can say.
I mean, to sign her AEW contract on top of two unconscious people, I'm just like, there's a way to say I'm here, bitches.
I'm not going to go too far into this. All I'm going to say is this Jericho Appreciation Society.
Meh.
It's fucking stupid.
Meh.
I don't need it. I don't care for it. But, again, I'll give them time to prove me wrong. But I don't need it. And then, obviously, Jeff Hardy made his debut on Dynamite, helping out his brother after his brother walked away from the Andrade Hardy family office.
That whole Jeff Hardy coming down to the ring dancing. Hey, I'm going to dance while my brothers get my ass whooped. Hey.
It looked so, like rushed and like he didn't know what to do. Should he dance? Should he not dance? Like, oh, my God, I hated it. The only part of it was the only part of his debut that I hated, because if you look at him, he feels so like, I don't know what to do.
Right?
Like, I don't know what I should... Like, I know what I should do, but I don't know what I should do. And it's like, come on, man. Just run down and save your brother. You all the other shit later.
I'm going to let my brother get his ass whooped a little longer. You know, he whooped my ass when I was younger, so fuck it. Let's do this.
Man. But I'm excited to see what they do, right?
I think their first real big tag team feud, I think, will be against Sting and Darby Allin.
I think it's supposed to. I think they're going to set that up.
I was going to say that stare down. I was going to say that stare down at the end of Rampage just kind of said it all.
Yep. But I think that is it for us tonight. Do you have anything else?
No. I think we've covered just about everything for this week in wrestling.
That's all I can handle. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you here next week?
Why, yes, I am. Okay, I'm just on vacation. I don't plan on going anywhere.
I could have sworn you told me there was going to be a week where you were going to be out.
I think that's in September.
No, that's right, because we were talking about my Disney trip and everything like that. Okay, my apologies. All right. So
no, you're good. You're good.
So next week I'm going to try to put together a WrestleMania, like we've done it in the past, right? We'll see if Chrome and all the other guys can do like a WrestleMania retrospective. I don't want to call it a roundtable. That's Chrome's thing. If he and I have the discussion and we want to call it that, we will. But I want to try to get as many guys on to talk about WrestleMania. We do it every year. It's tradition around here. So I'd like to keep that up. And we're going to try to do that next week. The week after, we're going to preview WrestleMania. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a WrestleMania show. We'll probably talk very little AEW unless something major happens at the end. Okay. Obviously, I've said it before. We're not going to be on for the second, right? WrestleMania Night 1. I've got a work thing. We're not going to be on. We're going to go live Sunday for live reactions to WrestleMania.
Sunday.
Okay. Hopefully, we've got, from what it sounds like, just talking to some different people, we're going to have people coming in and out throughout the night, watching the show with us, talking about it. Some people will be on camera. Some people you'll hear just from voice just because the room's not big enough, right? I don't know how I'm going to shoot that yet, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, okay? So that'll be the 3rd. The following week, which is the 10th, we're going to do a week of WrestleMania recap. So the Raw after WrestleMania, the SmackDown after WrestleMania, the NXT after Stand and Deliver. We're going to recap all of that, and obviously AEW. But AEW doesn't have anything other than St. Patrick's Day Slam that we're really going to touch a whole lot on.
Yep.
The week of the 16th, we are taking off. I've done it every year where I've taken after WrestleMania and after the week after WrestleMania. So that middle week, that 3rd week, I'm taking off. We're not going to do a show. We'll come back strong on the 23rd. All right, so that's the next few weeks of programming here at In This Very Ring. Make sure you guys are checking myself and Ralph out on Twitch. I'll be live at some point tomorrow and Tuesday. Ralphie will be live Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays now. Tomorrow we also have Rant Booth, and Money Pop Podcast, Rant Booth, and Agree to Disagree. Monday we have Monday Morning Quarterback, Sports Towns, and Flight Zone. Tuesday, Hockey Happy Hour. Wednesday is Kicking It Stateside and HUD Wednesday night. Thursdays is Pro Fan Talk and Birds of a Feather. Fridays is HUD Fan Friday. And then every Saturday you have Weekly Roundup and then us. So, guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. We're going to thank all our sponsors. Big shout out to Dr. Paul Vidal, who sponsors us every week. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. He's got 2 locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. He was kind enough to weigh in on the Big E situation for us tonight as well. So thank you, Dr. Vidal. Check them out at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. BetUS is a leading online sports book. They've been in the business for over 25 years. You bet on anything, anywhere in the U.S. Use that link right there. It's pinned in all our comments for 125% off, 125% sign-up bonus. Area Public Adjusting, if you have damage to your home or property, they're going to be able to help. 813-564-3364. They're licensed in Florida, Pennsylvania, and 13 other states. Rant Booth is the home. All campus is the home of Rant Booth. 20% off all everything in their store, including hats, shirts, and team cornhole sets to all subscribers. Alan Foy of eXp Realty. If you're looking to sell or buy a home, change your career or brokerage, contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty LLC. You can find him at 302-682-8820 or on the web at alan.foy@exprealty.com. Fan Up, daily NBA contests, and more. It's only on the App Store. Use promo code HUD for 5,000 points. That's a $50 value. Gleason's in Levittown. Use promo code HUD for 10% off your order, whether you dine in, order takeout, or order online. That's Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com. And Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping with code HUD at Manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. I'm Ritz. That's Butters. Tell somebody you love them. Don't forget, change your clocks tonight. We spring forward. Fucking bastards. We'll see you all next week. Peace, love, and joy. We out.